So let's just jump into this and we'll go through it and ask questions. We don't have to stick to this plan here, but we'll go through it a little bit. Maybe we'll all learn a little bit something. Maybe this will be a good review. So Medicare supplements, better known as Medigap. So it covers everything that your doctor and the hospital do not cover. Many people are not aware or feel a little surprised, but Medicare covers 80% of your expenses. So there's an extra 20% out there that people are not aware of that has to be covered. And that's where your Medigap insurance will pick up. I think in your case, Rosemary, if I understand it correctly, that's where Kaiser will step in and pick up the other areas that Medicare is not picking up. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, there's an out of pocket, like if you have more than 3,000-4,000 something, will pick up the rest.
Yeah, there's a certain limit. I don't know what it is. Of course, these commercials are confusing everything too, as well. So original Medicare refers to Part A and Part B. Again, Part A is for the hospital, B is for the physician practices. And so that's why we need the extra cost. So what is Medicare Supplement, also called Medigap? All insurance companies are vetted by the federal government. It does depend on what state you live in and also what county, because that can change from county to county. And Greg brought up a good point, is make sure you log into Medicare.gov and put your zip code in, and that will determine what your options, if you have any options in your area. I'm assuming, Greg, you don't have too many options where you live, except you
No,
live
I
in
don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Were you the one who lived in Florida?
Yes.
Yeah, I tell that story all the time. When you said you had 52 people that contacted you about when you lived in Florida, and
Yeah, either by mail or personal calls. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you had a
in
lot
Florida,
of free
I mean,
lunch.
I live in a big county, and fortunately, I was in the county that I lived in. I wasn't living in a city, so I was living in the county. So I was basically fair game for just about anybody who had a plan in the county. And that there's, I mean, just like what Florida and Arizona is known for is retirees, and they're the people who are, in most cases, at least if they're not 65, they're approaching 65 or older, and they're fair game for anybody that can try to provide a plan. Fortunately or unfortunately, the fortunate part is it's very competitive. So the prices are very reasonable. In most cases, you won't have to have any deduction from your Social Security to be on an Advantage plan in some parts of Florida. The only problem is you get overwhelmed with all the choices. So it's a two-edged sword.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I tell your story all the time. So again, all the insurance companies are vetted by the government, you know, the Humana's, United, Blue Cross, Blue Shield. And those are the ones that actually you need to go out into the marketplace and research those companies to see if they're a good fit for you. There you go, Beverly. We just lost Beverly. She's a cat fan.
I am a cat fan for sure. So I love seeing the calico kitty walk across Greg's picture. My cat's out in bed somewhere. So.
Yep, we got some cat lovers here. So Medicare Part A, again, that covers the hospitalization. There is a deductible for each hospitalization plan. Again, there's a limit up to 60 days in the hospital with no charge. Beyond that, the charge does go up. Let's look at the plans comparison. This is a chart I will send you after class here today. But the difference is each Medicare supplement plan in a chart has a letter. It goes from everywhere from A to the letter N. Each plan provides a different set of benefits. So there's cost and there's benefits to each. And as Rosemary, as you said, thankfully you're in great health and you haven't had to use any of this before. And so which plans do you end up going for? So It used to be Plan F was the great plan that everybody wanted because it covered everything, as you can see.
Yeah,
And now they don't offer Plan F after 2020, evidently. And so a lot of people end up going with Plan G and perhaps Plan N to cover everything else. But again, those come at different costs for where you live and the different zip code that you're in. Okay. Any questions on this? I mean, we could go through the chart, but I'll send it to you. You just need to go through and see what is covered and what particularly you might need. I guess, Rosemary, thankfully, you've been in great health. Maybe you need to look at your family's health, your parents, or, you know, somewhere in your family to see if they had any issues, and that would help think, well, if those things
Yeah.
could happen to me, hopefully they don't. But those
Everybody
are,
in my family has lived past 85 except my mom, and I'm 20 years past her life now. So I didn't get her genes. I got the other side of the family's good
well,
genes.
that's good. Thankfully, that's great.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. So here's the comparison on Medigap versus Medicare Advantage comparison, which I think is good to have this information because it does get confusing because we hear these terms frequently. What Medicare supplements cover versus what Medicare covers, or I should say does not cover. So that's why we actually need these extra Medigap insurance plans. Okay. So there's a risk and reward with each one of these, as you can see, as we look at this. I thought it was interesting, the Mayo Clinic is covered under Medicare Supplement, but not under Medicare Advantage. That was interesting. I don't know how they got that one in there. And the ability to travel the country and use any doctor, Medicare supplements, you have that. Medicare Advantage, you do not. And I don't know in your case, Rosemary, being under Kaiser, I don't know what your options are to see other doctors when you travel.
Yeah, can't have it.
Yeah,
I don't.
so that might be something you might want to look at as well. That might help make a decision for you if you're a traveler.
Yeah. I guess you can always buy travel insurance when you go.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know how good that is or not good. And sometimes in cases like that, if something does happen to you, you're out of state or you're overseas, you get the, they send you the bill, you pay the bill, you send it back to, you know, Kaiser in your case. They may reimburse you, they may not, I just don't know.